It's not often that we come back to a topic so soon after we've already discussed it.
True.
True. Except for like this week and next week, which will pretty much both be in similar ways. But I digress. 2 months ago, if you can remember that far back, it was a very long time ago. I can understand why you wouldn't. A lot of things happened.
No kidding.
But we talked about ReLIFE.
We did.
And one of the things we mentioned in that episode is that 2 months from now, the manga's going to end, and then the anime is going to have its OVA wrap-up. Well, both of those things have happened. So, why not talk about them? Here, on episode 68 of the Seasonal Anime Checkup OVA. Hey, do you know what this is? This is a podcast.
It is.
It's where we have conversations about anime, video games, manga, that sort of stuff.
Etc.
Etc. I said etc. X gonna give it to you, etc.
Oh my god, I cannot believe you just did that.
I'm Jared. That is Anne Ladyem.
Hello.
And we're here to talk to you about the end of ReLIFE. Because it's done and over. It's all gone. Never coming back.
It's kind of sad.
Yeah,
Actually, it's really sad.
It is. Sorry.
Also, I don't know if you're going to mention it right now, but I'm going to mention it right now. We also watched the live action movie.
Hey, do you know what I was just about to mention?
That we watched the
live
action
movie? Yeah. Yeah, that was a thing that happened or came out last year. Mm-hmm. And one of the big selling points of that was, considering it was coming out before the manga was over, especially a year before the manga was over, it has its own original ending.
Brand new ending.
Which we'll get into when we discuss that. But, considering what we liked ReLIFE and how we discussed that in the original episode, it seemed like a good idea to come back to it and talk about, how the manga wrapped up, how those 4 OVA episodes went or ended up being, and obviously the movie adaptation, like what we thought about it, what we liked about it, what we disliked about it, what we thought about the changes, and all that sort of stuff. So we're going to go in order of the media that we consumed, and that's going to be the manga, since that ended first. Mm-hmm. And then we'll go into the OVA episodes, and then we will finish with the live-action adaptation. So last time we left off, was we talked about the end of the anime. And I believe we kind of went into what happens in the manga after that.
Yeah, a little bit. And I had actually not read the manga up at that point.
Correct.
So I have now read through the entire thing and have ugly cried way too much now. So we got to like a little bit of what happens after that, but obviously a lot more has happened since that episode.
Correct. I guess we should mention, hey, we are talking about the end of this series in a lot of different ways. There's going to be spoilers. Very prevalently so. So maybe
watch the original anime or read the manga or listen to our first episode and then come back if you don't know anything about this.
Correct. If you shouldn't listen to this if you have not caught up or finished any of these. So that's your fair warning before we dive into this.
This is like real in-game spoilers here, guys.
So the anime, like we talked about in the first episode, ends with the festival. And, of course, they change a little bit of it where Chizuru reveals that she's the first test subject in the anime at that point. But in the manga, that doesn't happen at the festival. It happens pretty much immediately after, where she confronts Rio and is like, hey, is Arata a member of ReLIFE? Like, is he a test subject? So essentially...
Rio's like, haha, I can't tell you that. Tee-hee.
So that's where my notes begin, essentially, because that's kind of the jumping off point.
Yeah.
So that happens, and like you said, he can't confirm or deny because he's like, hey, if I do, and he is one, that just completely cancels his year, and you don't want that, do you? But this is also where Chizuru learns that Rio is stepping down as her observer, and she's getting a new one, and it's everyone's favorite braided glasses girl. Which I forget how they pronounce her name. Is it On? On, okay. I didn't want to start saying Anne. It'd be a complete goof.
Yeah, they pronounce it On. And I'm just going to be real, guys. Like, On is such a stand-in for all of us. Because she says so many things, and I'm like, yes, that is exactly what I'm thinking right now. Like, I love On. She's a good girl.
It's so great because Chizuru never sees her coming as like a member of ReLIFE, and she's just like, "What the f?"
She doesn't even know her name.
Yeah. This is also where Chizuru starts to begin to grapple with her feelings for Arata and tries to really, really confirm, like, is this for realsies or Nazi? Oh, no, whoa, no, for not. There we go. We don't need to add any Z's to that. Wow. Wow. Jared, think before you speak when you're running off 3 hours of sleep. Come on, dude.
There are no Nazis in ReLIFE.
There are no Nazis, thankfully. Remember to punch your local Nazi if you see one.
Wow, I am already crying in this episode.
And it's not even from the emotional parts yet.
No, it's not.
So that basically is kind of like the kickoff of like the second half of the series. And then we get into school festival prep. We're prepping for the school festival. The big thing for this is that Chizuru volunteers to be on the committee. Arata is basically kind of forced into the committee by everyone.
He's nominated.
Yes. But things start to turn bad because Chizuru starts to clash with the other classmates about like decisions and the ways that they're doing things. Arata is like, hey, why don't you try looking at this from this point of view, from this approach? Chizuru's like, I'm stubborn, so no.
Control freak.
Yeah.
I get that.
This is where Arata starts to get real worried because he starts seeing Chizuru acting the same way that his senpai from work started to act.
Yep.
And he gets real concerned about that. Chizuru gets sick.
Like really sick.
Real sick. So she's out of action. And then basically, I think Arata comes and helps her, like visits her at one point. She comes back and apologizes to everyone. Gets everything squared away. And things are hunky-dory for now. But then
there's like the missing money thing, but that doesn't really matter that much.
I saw that and I was like, I don't remember much of that. It was like it was mentioned in like 2 chapters when I was going through like synopses of the chapters. I was like, we could probably just glance over that.
Yeah, it's basically like money goes missing, and then like issues of management are brought up by students, like, are you managing the money properly? Are you doing this properly? And Arata steps in and like diffuses the situation.
Because that's what he does.
Like, oh, that was nice of you. I had the money the whole time.
Thumbs up. Though we get a new problem. Chizuru tries to fix Arata's necktie at one point, and it freaks him out. He's like, nope. And that leads into the school festival arc, which
they do like an English tea.
Yeah, they have butlers and maids and all that sort of stuff. The bad thing is that there are tensions still between Chizuru and Arata as they head into the festival. Arata, knowing that he's, going to be forgotten by everyone, decides to like, I'm not going to be in any of the pictures. I'll take pictures for you guys. So he's trying to like make this easier for everyone else. And it's like, obviously they're not going to remember him. But we get a real interesting thing here of Reina confronts him and basically gives him like the reverse pep talk that he gave her in the very beginning of the series. And it's like, hey, stop being dumb. Like, things would be a lot worse if you weren't around. Like, quit running away from this. Just hang out with us and be cool.
Do better.
Do better. Aruta also saves Chizuru from dudes hitting on her at one point.
Which I do want to point out, one thing that I thought was super cute about this was that Chizuru like does her hair and she borrows An's glasses.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's wearing glasses and has braids and everything. So her entire look looks different. But I thought it was kind of sweet that An's like, here, take my glasses. Which, like, if I gave anybody my glasses, I
They'd
would
be like,
just be
oh,
blind.
God, my head.
They would have headaches and I would be blind. So I would be helping absolutely nobody. Also, I'm not sure. Like, it'd have to be a special kind of somebody because I have a tiny head. I wear children's glasses.
Are An's glasses fake?
I'm assuming so.
Because I think we've seen... you see her at some points where she doesn't have glasses and she seems fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So probably...
like, I don't think she wore them at the festival. At the fireworks festival.
Right. So I think they're fake.
Yeah, I think they're fake. She didn't wear them at the school festival.
The school festival arc basically ends with Aruta coming clean about like why he freaked out about the necktie thing. He does it in a roundabout way because he can't necessarily describe it in the same way.
Yeah, he can't
obviously.
say like I had a boss or a superior at work who hung herself, and I'm actually, an adult and can't handle things. So I'm back here in high school for an experiment, and I can't still do a necktie.
So he comes,
something.
Yeah. So he basically tells her about like the trauma he's went through because of that, and that basically patches him up. And then we move into the sports festival, which is pretty brief. I
don't even remember the sports festival.
They're doing a relay race. They want Aruta to be the last runner in the relay. That's basically the gist of what I got from the synopsis.
I legitimately don't remember it at all.
It was real brief. Like, it was only like a couple of chapters. So, makes sense. Chizuru asked to touch Aruta again. Once again, trying to reconfirm her feelings. But at this point, Aruta confirms he has feelings for Chizuru to Rio.
Mm-hmm.
Dun, dun, dun. And also around this time, An's trying to find a way that they are able to keep their memories.
Oh, I'm the real MVP.
Truly. This leads us into the Reina Kazuomi tension arc. Which is a lot of things. Basically, the gist of this is that Kazuomi has been working a lot. Reina's trying to hang out with him, and he keeps constantly turning her down. And she's confused. Everyone else is confused because they're like, you two got together and you seemed happy. What's going on? Like, this doesn't make any sense. Reina's having trouble trying to ask him exactly why, like, or like what's even happening, why he's turning her down. So basically,
doesn't she like follow him after work one day and see him like with one of his coworkers and freak out?
That's the case. That sounds right.
Yeah, I feel like it was something like kind of shady like that, but also he's sort of being shady back, so it makes sense.
This leads into all the friends coming in and be like, all right, we're going to solve this. Yep. Friend squad, simple.
If you got a problem, I'll solve it.
So Aruta goes up.
Look while the DJ revolves it.
God. Aruta goes up to Kazuomi and is like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And Kazuomi's like, shrug shoulders, buddy. Doesn't really give him an answer. So we're back at square one. I think this is also the same time when everyone has to do their college choice forms.
Yep.
So I just threw that in there.
Yeah, and there's also this subplot where Reina wants him to change out his earring.
Yes.
Because they have they explained it earlier that they have like a pair between the two of them. Like he has one and she has one because his brother pierced his ear and that hurt so bad he didn't want to do the other one.
That's forthcoming in my notes.
Huh?
That's forthcoming up in my notes.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
So there's this entire thing about like her
Hmm.
really wanting another set of earrings for them,
Yeah,
and he won't take out the one.
yeah. So eventually, we get Kazuomi finally revealing that he has his brother who's turned into a NEET, and he's kind of embarrassed by it, all this sort of stuff, and he's worried about getting into college and forwarding it and all that.
And afraid that he's going to turn out like his brother
Yeah,
because he went to the same school that he was planning on going to, and like people always compare him to his brother. Also, every time somebody says neat, I just think of Newt.
Newt.
Yeah, like you turn me into a newt.
I can't say I've ever put those two together.
It just sounds like somebody put a spell on them as opposed to like a state of being.
True. Uh, Basically, Reina and Kazuomi are kind of able to reconcile a bit because they're able to go out. But this also means Aruta and Chizuru go on a fake date to tail them,
Mm-hmm.
which is real good.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the point where they do the matching earring thing again, or they get new ones.
Yeah, it comes up several times.
But basically, this is like the culmination of them, like their reconciliation and them being good for the rest of the series.
Because they get, I can't remember, do they pierce again or yeah, they both pierce it again and then he kisses her.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Because he says 1, 2, 3 and then kisses her as he's like punching the hole in her ear. And I was like, I would be so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically after this we get a little bit of downtime. I think we get some like Rio and An backstory at this point. And this is also around the same time when Rio becomes more aggressive and trying to figure out ways to make sure their memories don't get erased. Because he's basically snooping around like the pharmaceutical department, like asking questions like, well, what if we do this instead of? And then basically he also learns that, oh, you guys, the way you've been, making sure those two subjects interact with each other, yeah, that's real bad because that means they're super going to forget each other.
That's actually making it worse.
Yes. And he's just like,
Well, now what?
Meanwhile, Chizuru is also continuing to think art is a subject because she finds beer and cigarettes at his place. Because of course she would.
Yeah.
This is also around the time she realized she's actually in love with him, which gives her more pain because she realizes to do the experiment, he's going to forget her. And obviously she doesn't know, so like she's like, oh, the age gap and all that sort of stuff. And then this leads to On thinking that she's starting to regress in her progress.
Mm-hmm.
All that sort of stuff. But this leads us to some big things. Because Kazuomi's like, hey, it's it's getting around Christmas. Why don't you go take Chizuru out on a date? And then this is also like Chizuru is also like starting to like distance herself, and Reina and Hanukkah like start to intervene and are like, hey, no, don't do that. And Hanukkah is the one who's like, hey, you should go ask Aruta out on a date for Christmas. And then in all caps I have, Chizuru asks him out.
For December 25th.
For December 25th. That leads us to the Christmas date. An and Rio tail them because of course they have to.
Also, I know that I mentioned it in our last episode, but I ship those two.
Mm-hmm.
I love them together. They have like such wonderful like banter between the two of them.
They're so good.
It's so good.
So they go about doing their own thing. They go like shopping, get some food. They buy each other phone straps because Rio texts them and is like, hey, it's Chizuru's birthday. Get her something. So they get matching phone straps, and then essentially the date ends where like they go on the Ferris wheel and they like reminisce with each other. They're like, hey, we won't forget each other, right? He's like, no, that won't happen. And it's like bittersweet. And then they're walking away, or like they basically go like they walk a little bit before the date ends, and then Aruta finally confesses and it's like, yeah. It's the best.
Took it long enough.
It is. And then my next note is everyone happy.
Well, I think the cutest thing about this, I mean, there's a lot of cute, so maybe not
True.
the cutest thing, but one of the things that I really love about this is that Chizuru asked him out on December 25th, thinking that that's when you're supposed to do
Right.
Christmas dates, when in fact in Japan it's December 24th. She's like, I didn't know that. Like, you said Christmas, and so Christmas to me is December 25th.
But the funny thing is, like, they kind of remark, like, oh, it's less busy, so it's actually kind of better.
Yeah.
So after the Christmas date, that puts us onto the road to the end.
Yep.
So we get back, and it's the third term begins, and basically they're like, that's only like we only have a month left, so this is pretty much meaningless.
Well, and everybody's studying for like
Yep.
exams and trying to, get where they want to be, that kind of stuff.
Rio is really struggling with the fact that making them closer is going to make their memory loss real bad, and he's super 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 now trying to figure out something because time is running out. Aruta at one point asked him if it's possible to not end ReLIFE, which no, gotta
Well,
end it.
it was a cool way that Rio went about dealing with that because he's basically saying, that would put everything as like a moot point. Everything
Right,
you've
right, right,
learned
right.
at this point would just not matter. You're supposed to take this forward into adult Arta. And he's like, yeah, it was a dumb idea. I just had to ask. Okay, I'll go back.
For some reason, my notes have like accents on them for this one. So Aruta propose a graduation trip.
Was that like in the middle of one of your French things?
No, it just happened. I don't know why. It's super weird.
So a graduation trip is proposed if you don't understand the French.
Yes. So Arta and Chizuru work together to create this lavish, tightly constructed schedule.
Oh my God. It makes me nervous just looking at it.
But it basically just goes
Out
away immediately because like they spend way too much time at like the amusement park, and then everyone's like, "Oh God, we need to do this, and this, and we can't do this, and this." But like one of the key things he wanted to go and show them was the special spot that his senpai from work took him to one time. That means a whole lot to him, and he takes them there. Like they basically barely make it, and he essentially turns that from like a sad memory, like a sad place of remembrance, to like, oh, I can remember this now with all my friends. Like this is a place I can come back to now and enjoy it instead of feeling like sad or like I can't go to this place anymore. Growth. And then we get graduation.
Carpe diem.
Aruta does this big thing where he thanks everyone in the class, or like all the friends he has in the class, and they're just like, "What are you doing?
Like, you're weird. What are you
You're a
doing this for?
weirdo."
You're such an old man.
They do the big group photo thing, and then the manga does the thing where they Back to the Future out of the picture. By that,
Yep.
if you've not watched Back to the Future, that means they fade out of the picture.
Let's be real. If they haven't watched Back to the Future,
Why are you listening to this podcast?
they're the worst, and I don't want to be friends with them.
Chizuru and Aruta have this meeting after school where like she asks him if she's really changed at all throughout the course of the year, which he's like, yeah, you have. They have this big hug where they're promising to never forget each other, and this is the chapter where it ends with like they do that, and then it cuts to Rio and Anne, and he's just like holding her head as she's like bawling, and
That hurts.
it's
so bad.
rough. Like
It hurts
God.
so bad. Oh, like I said, Anne is kind of like an insert for all of us because like that was also me at that point.
Man.
And she keeps doing it. She's so dedicated to them, and like it hurts.
She is super ride or die.
She is. Anne is ROD, and I love her.
So that leads us basically to the end of ReLIFE, where we get Rio and Aruta going over everything that happened over the year. Rio's like, hey, everything's square. Here's the job offers we have prepared for you. Here's the pill.
I gotta watch you take
Gotta
it.
watch you take it. Once you take it, I'll clean everything up for you and I'll get out of here. You'll be good to go. So for Arata, it's all hunky-dory. He takes it, he goes to sleep. Next day, he gets to work tackling, like, okay, what job offer am I going to get? On the other side, Anne and Chizuru are doing the exact same thing. Anne's like, hey, good job. You got through this time. We are good to go. Here's your job offers. Here's the pill. Gotta make sure you take it and all that sort of stuff. There's a little bit of a problem though.
Mm-hmm.
So
she sees a pin.
Anne's cleaning up like after Chizuru went to bed. She's like cleaning up like the glasses after they were drinking and everything. She goes over to like say something to her and then notices a pin fall out of her bed. And she's like, that's weird. Why would she have a pin in her bed? And then she notices that Chizuru has something written on her hand. And it says, I was in love with Arata. And Anne just like breaks down right then and there. Just like, why would you make me see this? Like, I can't let you have that.
It's like ugly crying because, she basically implies if she had not seen it, it would have been fine. Like, not fine, but she wouldn't have cared. But now that she has seen it, she has to get rid of it. And she's like, no. But yeah, it's straight up ugly crying. And I also ugly cried. Like a lot ugly crying.
It's rough.
It hurts so bad because I love our Kazuki. I was like, oh no. She wanted to remember.
And now ReLife's over.
ReLife is over. Time to get jobs.
So Arata goes through like the big list of job offers he got, and then I think he basically goes through them and calls Rio and is like, so
I don't want any of these.
Yeah, like none of these are what exactly I want. And Rio's like, okay.
We can get you more.
Do you want more? Do you need something else? And he's like, no, I pretty much know what I'm gonna do. Like, hey, like what if I join you guys?
I want to be on support staff.
So he becomes an official member of the support division within ReLife. And then we fast forward a little bit, and it's Arata going to this welcoming party for like the new members of ReLife.
Actually, one thing before you do that, I do want to say that it's cute because Anne's like, yay, I'm not the youngest of the group now. Because, she is still like around the same age as him, but now he's like lower than her at work. So she's no longer the newbie.
So they go to this welcoming party.
Yep.
And he's like, oh man, I don't know anyone. This is real weird. So he goes to sit down at this table, and then someone familiar comes up to him and is like, hey, I was sitting there.
That's my seat.
That's my seat.
Mm.
It's what they call a parallel?
It is.
So that's when we see for the first time we see adult Chizuru. And she goes off and does her own thing. She's like, hey, that's cool. You can sit there. It's fine. Whatevs. Thanks to the greatness of Rio and Anne, they meet outside. And they get to chatting. And they're like, yeah, I just joined up. I was actually a subject. And Cheezer's like, oh, I was also a subject last year too. It's real strange. So they get to kind of talking about like their experiences, and then
they start getting like weird flashes in their heads.
I forget who sees it first, but one of them sees the phone strap and is like, wait. And then everything like clicks. And I think like that's immediately like when Chizuru is like, hey, let me see your phone.
Yep. Also a parallel.
And then like immediately after that, they both realize who the other is. Like they get their memories come back. Which granted is like, it's a little passé because they're like, you're not getting your memories back. No, memories are not coming back. No.
Man, I don't even care.
Same. I'm with you. I'm just saying.
And to be fair, like the tech at the lab was saying, like,
there is a chance.
It's not guaranteed, and this has never been done before. It's never been tested, so we don't actually know.
True.
So there is that seed of hope
It
given
is.
to us.
So they embrace. They go out like they go to like a park and just chill out and just like chit chat. And it's like, yo, what what are you doing? Also, we get first smooch here, and
Mm-hmm.
it's great. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so in the final couple chapters, we learn Chizuru works in the pharmaceutical department,
Yep.
and then this is where we get the tease of so the support division is starting to get ready for their next year of work. There's a subject number 4, a subject number 5. Those two are going to Rio and On, obviously, but there's a subject number 6, and one of the cliffhangers is that like Arata sees the file of who it is, and he's like, "Oh," which, granted, like at that point, it wasn't too difficult to discern who it was because
It wasn't, because how many neats do we know?
yeah, how many people that we know that he would know that they would want to help.
Yeah.
So the final chapter is basically Arata heading over to the OVA residence. He sees Kazuomi and Reina, who they don't recognize him, obviously, but he sees them. He's like, oh, well, he like a little taken aback at first, and then he heads over to Kazuomi's brother's room and is like, hey, what's up? I'm from ReLIFE. We can help you with your life. We can do this thing. Be a subject for a year, and convinces the brother to join up with ReLIFE. That's it.
What was that sound?
And that's it.
I cried so much reading that manga.
It's so good.
It is really, really good, and it's like beautiful, and everything's color, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And every time that it would get posted on Sunday, I get like an excited text message from you like, it's up, it's up, it's up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh God, please load. Why would you load?
If any, like I think the author like announced that I think she's redoing like one of her old works, but like it's kind of to the point where it's like you should probably take a break considering you've been doing this weekly for like 5 years at this point. Like, take some time. You deserve it.
It's like how I'm gonna feel after the dissertation. Like, just need a break.
Yeah. But yeah, the manga ending was very bittersweet, but it was a great ending. Like, I enjoyed the heck out of it.
I was so pleased.
Yeah.
And one thing that I kept mentioning was that I was really looking forward to hoping that An and Rio and Chizuru and Arata would like go out drinking and hang out and all that, and like they do.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. It's great.
So it's nice because like you see that there are like solid friendships there, and you see like the impact that he's had throughout his real life, and it's emotional.
There should be like a one-off chapter where it's just like it's them going out drinking and Rio being like, you have no idea how much stress you put me under by being repeatedly being like, he's a real life subject. He's a real life subject. Like, I can't say anything.
It's just Rio like panicking the whole time, like, God, you made my life so difficult.
So we get through the manga.
Yep.
And of course, like we said, the anime announced that, hey, we're going to do an extra 4 episodes that's going to tie everything up. Now, the problem with that is
there's a lot to fit into 4 episodes.
There is a lot to fit into 4 episodes. Like, that is literally half the series you're going to try and cram into 4 episodes. Like, that's over 100 chapters into 4 episodes, or attempting to. I know there's been a lot of criticism about, the fact that the OVAs didn't include everything, which, granted, I think you have to understand, like, obviously they're not going to include everything if these are 4 30-minute episodes. Well, 20.
Right, there's no way you could have.
No way. So I think in that aspect, you kind of have to judge them on the merits that they bring, not what you would want out of them.
And I think given that they had 4 episodes to get the information out, they hit like the high points.
And that's what you would want. Like, obviously, there are things in there that, I wish they had addressed.
Right.
But there's literally no time.
Right.
Which is unfortunate. But essentially they hit the mostly like the key major points. Like the first episode is the hey, Chizuru confronting Rio. You get a brief bit about Kazuomi talking about his brother, which I feel like you can really see like it's a little bit wafering on how they handle that, because it basically just like, oh yeah, my brother was a NEET. Anyways, like I don't necessarily think they handled that particularly well, but
you do get more about like Chizuru here too, though, which is
you
nice.
do,
but not enough about older Oga.
But it's hard to even like come up with a way to really insert that into the narrative, considering that part of
Like
the
cut
story.
out the side
Yeah,
story, yeah,
that part of the story is intrinsic to the Reina Kazuomi tension arc, and that's completely gone.
Yeah.
Another thing they cut out is like the whole lead up to the school festival, and like the tension between Arata and Chizuru there. What else? Like the school festival or the sports festival arc is literally just rendered to the credits of one episode.
Yep.
Which is real strange. Like we said, the Kazuomi Reina arc is cut out entirely.
The arc about like Rio and An trying to figure out like with the pharmacy guy,
yeah, that's all cut, which that's unfortunate.
That's unfortunate, because that would have been nice.
Because like the back half, I think really it puts into perspective like how good those two characters are, Rio and An. And
oh yeah.
These OVAs kind of lose some of that just because like obviously they're not the sole focal point, so we don't really get to see like her confiding into Rio at times, like when she's really worried about those two and all that sort of stuff. So like that's all gone. Maybe thankfully they cut out the part where
the crying.
Yeah, like I was real worried that I was gonna see. I was like, oh no.
I probably would have just.
Yeah.
I already cried a little bit watching that, but like I would have had to pause.
Mm-hmm. No smooch at the end.
No smooch.
No smooch. So basically, the first OVA is Chizuru confronting Rio, and then some backstory, basically a continuation of like what happened after the festival.
Yeah, you learn more about like her first year and like what she was like and why she failed, and you see how she got basically to the point where she is now.
Correct.
Which is important.
Yeah. The next episode is the school festival episode.
Yep. Condensed.
Pretty condensed, yeah. Like it's I mean essentially it's just there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the one weird translation that we were both laughing at, but
it was the booth where they were handing out flyers,
booth, but I can't remember what it was. Yeah. It was so funny though. We're like, what is that?
The penultimate episode is essentially the Christmas date.
Mm-hmm.
With the weird credit song.
Oh my god! But it did have the moment where again, like Rio and An are together a lot because they are, following their people who are together a lot.
Right.
And one of my favorite things is that they're watching over the Christmas date, and so they're on their own date. And Rio's like holding a menu over his face, and then An's just like sitting there normally, and I'm like, that's not suspicious.
Super stealthy.
Yeah, like man, nobody's ever gonna notice you're there, Rio. Like, what are you doing? And like An is even dressed like, I don't want to say outlandish, but she sticks out because she's got on like a beret and some other kind of weird colors, and I'm like, oh okay, good job, Rio. And he's also like taking like pictures of them, and it's kind of creepy.
Yeah. But for the most part, this pretty much follows like how the manga goes. So.
Yeah, it was great.
Considering this is a huge point, like you want this to be like a focal point within these episodes.
Yeah, I mean it's the love confession and like the we won't forget moment in the Ferris wheel and the charms. Like you have to have that kind of stuff or else nothing's gonna connect.
Then finally the finale is graduation, and then everything post graduation. Well, for the most part, everything post graduation. It's a pretty condensed version of that.
Yeah.
Because they
Carpe diem again.
got to zoom through a lot of stuff in that short time, unfortunately. So we get like the graduation. He says they kind of downplay the thank you thing. I think you get the hug at the end where they're both real emotional through that. We get the end of ReLIFE portions where even we get the Anne and Chizuru moment.
The hand.
Which I'm glad they kept that in there for sure.
Same.
And then the ending pretty much kind of goes in a similar fashion. I think it's a little like time wise, it's flipped around. And it's like I said, it's a little bit more condensed because basically you get Art to go into that party, the reuniting with Chizuru, and then after that is when he goes to the Kazuomi house. So you don't get to see him and like see all four of them interact at the ReLIFE headquarters or anything like that.
Right.
Which is a little bit of a bummer.
Well, and you also don't get to see him interact with Reina and what's his name?
Kazuomi.
Oga, yes. Little Oga, not big Oga. I was kind of bummed because the credits were running during that, and so like you didn't hear any of the dialogue between those two. You only hear the dialogue once he gets to the room, and I was like, oh, that's a bummer. Yeah. But I mean, at least the ending credits weren't as bad as OVA 3.
I think the key thing to at least praise these OVAs for is that, you know, it's the manga ending.
It is, and I was really happy about that. They did a great job, like, with what they had with 4 episodes, they hit some really major points, and they got the ending in there the way that it needed to be.
It's one of those things, like, you know, just with how time constricted they are, like, it's gonna be wonky. It's gonna feel weird. It's gonna feel very accelerated, and, you know, it's not gonna be the same as when you're reading the manga because there's so much more you can pack in. And obviously, if you wanted everything out of that second half of the series, you would need a second season.
Right.
But at least we got 4 OVA episodes to wrap up the anime. Like, they could have done nothing. They could have not done this at all. And
left it at the fireworks.
Mm-hmm. They could have.
So I'm glad that they gave us this kind of ending. And, I mean, that's pretty impressive because it just ended. And they're like, here is the OVA.
I mean, it's probably not that difficult because, like, you could... I'm sure, like, the offer's like, hey, this is what's going to happen, but still. Like,
I know, but it's still, like...
But to get everything pretty similar in terms of even just, like, shot composition and, like, where things are taking place, it's fairly good.
Yeah.
It's impressive that they're able to do that. But I think overall it's like, hey, you know, these could be better. Yeah. But the alternative is real bad as well because, like, these could not even exist.
I would rather have these than it just ending at fireworks.
Yeah. I completely agree. That leaves us
the live action.
With the live action film. Which is a strange thing in and of itself because, you know, like we said at the offset of this episode, this came out in April of 2017, which is a good year ahead of when the manga ended and when these OVAs came out. So obviously, probably, I mean, this was being filmed probably in 2016.
Yep.
So not a good idea of where the series was going to go at that point. I mean, obviously, like, you would imagine that Art and Chizuru would find their way to get to each other again.
Yep.
But there's no, like, indication of, like, how they're going to get there at this point. Nearly 2 years ago, probably. So, this is another thing where, okay, how do you condense probably at that point, you know, 160-ish chapter manga into 2 hours? There's no easy answer for that because it's pretty impossible to do that.
Yeah.
One of the things we mentioned when we were watching this is that, like, things go. It is fast.
It is super duper fast. Like, I didn't really feel like I had a whole lot of time to breathe.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, we're doing this now. Oh, okay, we're okay. It was a thing, and I know that we mentioned this, but I really don't think this movie would be enjoyable to somebody who didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you came into this without any knowledge of the series as a whole, it would probably be very confusing, and just in terms of storytelling, I don't think it would be that enjoyable because
Yeah.
it goes so fast in terms of just like the plot and introducing everything and trying to cover so much ground in 2 hours that unless you know what you're getting into, I don't think like you're necessarily going to enjoy it. But if you've seen them or read the manga, you've seen the series, like I think this is it's an interesting expansion piece to the series as a whole. And, for a live action adaptation, it's not bad.
It's not bad. I was actually surprised because I've seen some, like, I guess the most relevant to this would be I saw the Japanese live action of Death Note,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't like it. It felt weird. And I know that that's the case. I saw the trailer for Hyoka, and I was like, I will
Yeah.
not watch that because it looks terrible.
That was one of the things that like I saw about this series or like this film, and I was like, because I saw the trailer for it, and I was like, and I'd seen the Hyoka one previously as well, but for this one, it didn't seem that bad, and that was like one of the things where I was like, okay, I would give this a shot.
That was one thing that we talked about before we actually watched it. You're like, it doesn't seem bad, and so
like at worst, it could have
it's
seemed
not
mediocre.
bad.
But like for like I said, like for a weird expansion of the series where it has its own original ending, like you could do way worse. Like it's fine, it's serviceable. Like there's a lot of goofy stuff to this. Like some of like the facial expressions are just completely ridiculous and real funny.
I would watch this movie just for the facial expressions again.
It's real good.
It was amazing. The guy who plays Arata, I didn't really picture him as Arata, but because of the way he acted it, I was like, all right, I get this. This is good. He kind of had like the same spaz nature in terms of his acting as Arata does, and it worked. He just like at first when I looked at him, like, and I thought it was funny that one of the ways that they made him look younger was they just unparted his hair.
Take his glasses off.
Yeah, he one of the things that he does when he gets young is he's like, I don't need these anymore. What?
My eyes can see better.
God. Somehow he's lost his Japan map.
It's a shame.
It is a shame.
But gained a Miami sweatshirt.
He did. Honestly though, the casting on this was really good.
Yeah.
Because I was also a little confused at first by the guy who played Rio.
Because they don't dye his hair.
They don't dye his hair, but he was real good at that snark.
Mm-hmm.
He pulled it off, and he had like this weird giggle that he had, and it worked. It really, really worked. And same with Chizuru. She, she really pulled it off.
Yeah.
So, are we going to talk about Anne though?
Oh yeah, we'll get into that.
Okay, because that's a thing. Although the actress playing her looks really similar to the manga, like that was pretty impressive.
So essentially, the plot of this follows the manga up to a point, and they kind of speed through some stuff. Like, the beginning is similar. You get the Chizuru and Reina confrontation arc, and then basically they cut out the volleyball arc.
Yep.
Because those characters don't even show up.
Nope, none of them show up.
They are completely cut out. So that's gone. The whole reveal with Anne where they go and have their study meeting is very altered because they have that meeting, but as the film progresses, you realize Anne isn't a member of ReLIFE in this.
Yep.
Which is such a bummer.
It is. She's just a student, and I was like, oh no! It was so upsetting.
The actress who plays her,
hoping.
the actress who plays her does a really good job,
mm-hmm.
like portraying that character. But it's such a bummer that you miss out on so many like good interactions between like her and Arata when like he knows potential with her and Chizuru, and specifically her and Rio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also the actress does a fantastic job at playing on in terms of like the goofy side of on,
Correct.
but because of her not getting that reveal, you miss a lot of the serious side of her and a lot
Hmm.
of the emotional side of her. So you kind of get like a one note version of On,
Yeah.
which is disappointing because On's like my favorite character. So
That was definitely one of the most disappointing aspects of the film.
she looks so much like
Yeah.
her. That was amazing. Like I was really, really impressed, but
And it was strange as well because there's very good attention to detail in this.
mm,
Because Kazuomi's like his uniform is a little bit too big
it doesn't fit him right.
because it's a hand me down. You
Hmm.
see Arata like not have his tie all the way tied up, even though they don't explain that at all,
No,
unfortunately, because they changed the senpai death.
yeah, they have her get hit by a train, so the tie makes zero sense.
But it's weird that like I guess for a film like this and from a series like this, like it's not necessarily the biggest saying. I wasn't expecting them to have like, okay, we're gonna have this attention to detail to it, which I think
I
is
was really impressed when I
yeah.
noticed that Oga's sleeves were too long. I was like, oh, look, they did it.
I mean, if anything, I think that shows that like, hey, the people who made this film were like they at least cared about this series if they're gonna
Yeah,
go to that length.
I think so. They tried, and I feel like that was a good thing. That sounds negative, but
They tried.
they did try. Like it's not as bad as it could have been.
Like I said, like we said, cramming all that into 2 hours is impossible. And
Uh,
of course, like things are gonna get cut and everything. But go go ahead with what you're saying.
I think the weirdest thing of this entire like movie was the fact that like the school festival they were still doing like the tea cafe thing,
Hmm.
but they also had a band. I was like, what is happening? Why are they dancing as well? This doesn't make any sense.
It's real strange as well because there are distinct parallels to what happens like the latter half of that movie and like what happens in the latter half of the series
Yep.
that I don't know if it's just like a coincidence or if like the author was like, hey, this is probably how things might go down, and they just lined up in a way that they were able to include that in the film. But it's so strange how the school festival ends up that way where they have the same outfits and everything, even though like the thing changes. I mean, Arta saves Chizuru from getting hit on and everything a little bit more physically, but
Uh, a lot of bit more
yeah,
physically.
there's the bit at the
Uh,
end where like he takes them to like this nice spot and they go on the
mhm.
graduation trip,
Yep.
which is like obviously that happens way further down the line in the manga, but it's in the film.
Yep.
It's it's real interesting. Like I would really be curious to know if like those are legit coincidences or if like the author's like, hey, I'm probably gonna put this in the manga, so like why don't you guys use this as a plot point?
I feel like the scene with the like the area that can't be a coincidence
I mean, they don't.
because
The thing is, they don't explain it.
they don't, but like maybe the author was saying, he's going to take them to somewhere that matters to him that's really pretty and that kind of thing without any kind of explanation
Right.
on why he does it.
That would make more sense of like, hey, why they don't put like any like significance to it or an explanation to it. It's just like, hey, we went to the spot. Okay, now we gotta wait for a bus.
And then we're gonna leave you two here. Bye.
So yeah, like essentially the halfway point of that film is where everything starts to diverge because the firework festival is sometime now in the day because that's when you go see fireworks is when right in the daytime.
Right in the daytime, and it starts pouring down rain, and then Oga like runs out into the rain and starts like confessing his love to Reina, and I'm like, you dramatic child, why are you doing it like that?
Got to be
There's
very
no
extra.
reason to go. Why? There's no reason to go get wet. No reason. You don't have to be wet to confess your love. You can be dry. It's fine. And then like they all run out in the rain and Arta gets sick.
As you do, don't go running out in the rain, kids.
Right. Like it's perfectly fine to confess your love indoors or not at a fireworks festival that's during the daytime.
And then randomly starts raining.
Yeah. But I mean, like, they tried. I still love the fact that during the school festival, like you were saying that he keeps her from getting hit on because like they try and take pictures up her skirt while she Chizuru's skirt while she's dancing.
Hmm.
And he does like this sly thing where he like keeps dancing but then like flings them around and then like they start fighting. I was like, I'm really impressed. Like I didn't expect that. That was cool. It was all very like smooth, like it was part of his dance.
This is my combat dance.
Protect Chizuru dance. But even then, like, didn't she have the glasses and the braids in that one too?
Yeah.
So like there had to have been some kind of communication for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
too.
Like it's way too specific to not to just be coincidences.
Yeah.
I thought the reveal of Chizuru was pretty interesting because they don't necessarily harp on the subject one thing. Like he meant like Rio mentioned or like thinks about it at one point when he's typing up a report early on
And then deletes
and
it.
then deletes it. Which, interestingly enough, if you pay attention during that scene, like he's writing that report and there's like pictures like kind of real faded in the background, and it seems like when he's typing subject one, he's typing that over a picture of Chizuru.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
At least I think it's a picture of Chizuru. If I'm wrong, then that's just going to completely blow this off. But you don't get the reveal of Chizuru until very later on when I think it's when he's asking everyone to go to the graduation party. And he invites Rio. And like he sees Chizuru kind of like sulking a bit, which that's the first sign. And then like I think a little bit afterwards, like you see them meet up and she asks about Arata if he's a subject or not.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get like the whole thing about her story and everything. So I thought it was interesting the way they handled that is like completely different than what the anime did and even what the manga does, going in its own original route. Which, speaking of going in its own original route, let's talk about the end.
Has a brand new ending,
It does.
which we both figured out what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because it honestly is the only thing that makes sense given the narrative of the movie and like what he continuously says at the end when he's preparing. Like, I know where he's going to go with this.
Yeah.
I know what's about to happen. And like, I was going to be extremely surprised if it wasn't what he did.
I thought it was also kind of surprising as well, or at least, I mean, not really surprising, but a different twist on it where, you know, the same premise of, oh, hey, ReLIFE will give you a bunch of job opportunities. We'll give you a recommendation if you have an idea for anything. And he's like, no, I appreciate it, but no, I'm going to earn this on my own. I'm going to study up. I'll do whatever I need to do to get this job I want, but I'm going to do this of my own hard work and everything.
And he even does like weird side jobs in order to like make ends meet while he's trying to like get to his ultimate goal because he has like the weird thing where he's like helping people move and then
he's like a
they're
mover.
like, hey, you could come work with us. He's like, or I could not. He doesn't say it like that, but
yeah, like basically the reveal is that, you know, instead of how he ends up in the manga and anime, he decides to become a high school teacher.
high school teacher. It's kind of neat the way that he does it because you see him like sitting alone in his apartment and he has the letter and like you can see that he's hoping like that he made it and he did, and
which is obviously a parallel to like how the film begins when he gets a rejection letter.
Right. So I like this ending in the sense that Arata's kind of doing it on his own.
Right.
Like you see more of like, okay, ReLIFE was a success. Here's him actually being motivated and finding a way to make it happen. Like he has a goal and he does it.
Like I don't necessarily think it's like my favorite outcome for him.
I don't either.
But it's something that I can completely buy him doing, buy that character doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's not my favorite ending, but it's not a bad ending, and I really think that it would be a like very fitting canon ending for this character. It's not out of character, to say the least.
Yeah. So basically, you get to see him like doing homeroom. He mentions like, "Oh, don't. Hopefully, none of you forgot your pencil case." And then after that, he goes to like the teacher's room, and he's like talking to like a senior there. He's like, "Hey, is everything going okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I got this." Goes to sit down at one of the desks, and then we get the whole "Hey, that's my seat" thing again.
But it's flipped this
It
time.
is.
It's the only time that it's flipped.
Because he goes to sit in his desk, and oh, hi, Chizuru. What are you doing here?
You need a tour of the school? I'll give you a tour of the school. Let's do this.
Oh, man. And then, so they go for the tour of the school, and they stop, and they're like, film's over.
Yep.
Man. Which is, hey, I'm a fan of leaving people in suspense, so.
Well, and it kind of reminds me of the end of Your Name, because they
Yeah.
have the sense of like they meet with each other again and like, have we met? I feel like we met before, and then they ask like, what's your name?
Mm-hmm.
And then it ends, and then, which by the way, spoiler alert.
Whoa.
I know. But it's kind of the same sense. It's like they meet up again, and then there's the question of like, do they remember or do they not?
Right.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
mean, it again, it's not my favorite because I think the manga is definitely like my favorite, but
Well, I mean, you get
it
more
was
resolution in that, obviously.
right. It felt like a pretty good adaptation, especially considering it was a live action
Yeah.
adaptation. Like I was impressed.
Yeah, same. Let me ask you,
Okay.
because this is a question that I just came up with while
Oh
thinking
no.
over this, while we're talking about the film.
Oh no.
We mentioned that Arata becoming a teacher fits his character.
Correct.
Do you buy that for Chizuru?
No.
Okay. I was also kind of leaning towards no as well. So it's, so yeah.
And I think that's one reason why like the anime and the manga do it better is because Arata is the person who's like talking to people and helping people and being like the face of it. And Chizuru's helping, but she's behind the scenes. And that feels more of like what she would do.
Mm-hmm.
She wouldn't want to be the one who's like out there and public facing and trying to like be encouraging. That wouldn't fit her.
Yeah.
So no, I don't buy it for Chizuru, but I get why they did it for the ending.
I just don't really know what else she could do at a school.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to think. I'm like, she couldn't really be a guidance counselor
Yeah.
because that would still be the same. Really? That would still be the same kind of like, hmm. Yeah, I don't, there's not really anything she could do at a school that would kind of be like behind the scenes and still helpful. So I feel like the pharmacy side fits her way better. But again, they didn't know that when they were making the movie, so
Yeah, that's just the thing. So I think in terms of just like, hey, coming up with something on the fly for this series in particular, like, it's fine. Like this
yeah,
film, it's fine.
it is. It's really not bad. Again, I wouldn't recommend it like out the gate without anybody knowing
Yeah.
like what it's about.
This is something you watch after you've gone through the manga and the anime.
But it's enjoyable. It was
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's coming from someone who like I don't necessarily go and like seek out live action versions of, shows I've watched or anything like that. So,
Oh man, are you not stoked for that live action Full Metal Alchemist?
I mean, I've heard mixed things. I've heard people say it's not good, and people say like it's not that bad. So, I don't know. Like I said, I don't go out and seek live action things of shows I like. So this
Yeah.
was the first for me, and I was pleasantly surprised by it. So
Which is good because usually they're terrible.
all right, so next week we're gonna go watch that Hyoka live action film, and no,
No. No, they look like they're way too old for high school.
Well, do you have anything else you want to mention about the series as a whole? Since it's probably going to be the last time we talk about it.
Oh man, that's really put me on the spot. I feel like I need to say something insightful, but all that's coming to my brain is just I love Anne and she should marry Ryu.
I think that's great analysis.
Anne is like she's my favorite. I love her so much. I'm also curious, like I want to go back and watch the OVA and see if like there's two piercings on the other two kids now.
I would doubt it.
I would doubt it too. Just curious, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
We did it.
we did it. We mentioned this last time we talked about this, but ReLife's real good. You should definitely search it out and check it out. As of this recording, we don't know if those OVAs are going to get dubbed.
Yeah,
I would say it's there's more of a possibility that they might because Crunchyroll picked them up for distribution, and obviously that can lead more towards hey, Funimation can get them and do their thing. I know obviously Funimation took a while in dubbing ReLIFE. Like it didn't come out till like last year when that show came out in 2016. So it might if it's possible, it might not be like immediate. Obviously, it might be a little bit after the fact. But the first series is obviously is dubbed in English and obviously Japanese as well. So you have options there. And then you have the OVAs.
And the English dub is great.
Yeah, that too.
It is great.
The manga's all done. So if you want to track that down, you can. And you can also track down the film, which is not dubbed, obviously. So you'll have to read a little bit.
Great for the facial expressions.
Yes, it's especially great for facial expressions. That's what you're into.
And just, you're going to cry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how emotionally strong and prepared you feel like you are not. You will never be. And it's going to punch you so hard in the emotions. And you're going to be like, oh, God, I don't know what to do.
I hate getting punched in the emotions.
And you just are going to want to sit over like a bowl of macaroni and cheese and like think about your life for a minute. Just saying.
That's the most used sentence I've ever heard. Can't believe.
You can.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're not wrong. Well, that's going to wrap this episode up.
I want macaroni and cheese.
I mean, when don't you want macaroni and cheese? Let's be real.
Fair.
So, hey.
Hey.
You want more from us? Why don't you head over to seasonalanimecheckup.com or sac.cool. You can find past episodes of this podcast there. Like the first ReLIFE episode, if you want to listen to that. It's there. And a bunch of great other episodes. They're all fantastic.
It's true.
You can find other podcasts on there as well, like Jared and I watch Sailor Moon Crystal. It's where we watch Sailor Moon Crystal each and every week. It's true.
It is.
You can also find the Seasonal Anime Checkup podcast. Hey, did you know there's a new episode of that up?
There is.
There is. So you can hear my thoughts on the winter season of shows I watched.
And bullying.
And, oh man. Can't believe I'm going to be shamed for that.
Sorry.
And also there's also a big preview of spring shows. So you can get the full gambit of what's happening in spring. Like the four whoa. The 4 game adaptations, because apparently spring is the time for game adaptations. It's a lot.
A lot.
If you want more from Anne Ladyem, hey, go to AnneLadyem.com. That's where she's got cool columns and reviews. They're great.
Yay!
Like Frosted Flakes.
Oh, what? No, they're not great.
They're great.
He says they're great, but he's lying.
Whoa. Did you know the voice of Tony the Tiger was involved in pro wrestling?
I'm not surprised by that.
He was an announcer for the now defunct WCW. He did
Still
the
not surprised.
he did the 1-800 collect road reports for them.
I don't even know what that means.
He would call in to the television show and be like, "Hey, I'm in the town. I'm in the town where we're going to be at next week, and boy, everyone's real happy to be watching the show tonight." And all that sort of stuff.
Can you imagine like Tony the Tiger's giving you on the street updates?
It's great.
Wow.
Hey, go follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, do that too.
Twitter.com/anime checkup. It's the Twitter pods. Twitter pots. That's where the Twitter pots are. I don't know what that means, but it's a thing.
Both of us need sleep so bad.
Yeah, you can also support us on Patreon. Patreon.com/SACOVA. Because clearly, after you've listened to this, you definitely want to put down $1. Be like, boy, howdy, I like these folks. Let's give them $1. I'll buy that for $1.
Because my cats don't have jobs.
It's true. Loki and Max are not supporting this podcast in the way that it should be.
It's true. They just sleep all day.
100%. Next week, it's going to be a real nice episode.
Oh my god.
And, most likely, it's time to dive back into 19th century steampunk.
Y'all, I'm so hype.
With some fan service, fan disc, whatever they're calling this.
They're called fan discs.
Excuse me, I'm getting it on a cartridge. There's no disc involved here.
I am also getting it on a cartridge.
Welcome to our analysis of a fan cartridge next week. So yeah, we will talk about whatever the new code realized. I don't remember the subtitle of it is, but that comes out yesterday at the time of this going up. So we'll probably have at least a good majority of that done by then. It's a visual novel, so.
Well, and also like.
This is you we're talking about.
Yeah. I'm just.
Also, I'm not expecting that thing to be like super long.
No, because I mean it's like bonus stories,
right?
Essentially, I mean like there's gonna be more to it, but Future Blessings, is that the
Gesundheit?
Yes, Future Blessings. Oh man, Victor Frankenstein has on a top hat with a feather, y'all.
So look forward to that when we get real nice.
Oh, it's appropriate that we're doing Code Realize for episode 69.
It's 100% appropriate. All right. Look forward to that next week, and we'll totally not make nice jokes the entire time.